Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting the history, guys. And in this video, we're going to continue with the Olympic theme here. And I don't know if you guys have seen Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James. They recreated that famous Olympic picture of Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. When Larry Bird has the thumb, you know, Michael Jordan has the 2, and Magic Johnson has the 3 up, right? And they recreated that image. And I'm here to tell you guys, they ain't the same, man. Those guys are not the same, man. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, they are not the same as Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird, guys. They're not the same, man. And we're going to talk about in this video, man, because once again, they keep trying to make you believe that this team is greater than 92 or that these guys would dominate the 92 Dream Team. And these guys are so much more skilled and they're more better. And the other guys are old and all this other nonsense, man. But when we talk about just Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, where they are in their careers right now and how they have played out their entire careers, and then we compare them to Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird, ain't even close, guys. Those guys are not close. We're going to talk about in this video, man. They're trying to recreate that image, man. These guys, man, no originality, man. No originality. They're not on that level. And I want to thank you guys, man, everyone across the world, everyone across the states that's been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly, truly humbled by all the support out there, guys. For real, it means a lot. So thank you for rolling with me, standing up with me, helping me set the record straight, man. Like I said, the true basketball fans are standing up, man. So thank you guys. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So yes, guys, like I said, man, I saw this image floating around. Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. They recreated that famous image of Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson, the Olympic picture. You guys all know that famous Olympic picture with those 3. So I guess they recreated the image with LeBron, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. And to me, once again, guys, this all has to do with them trying to bring down the 92 Dream Team. And once again, them saying disrespecting the 92 Dream Team and trying to make you believe that this 2024 Olympic team is so much superior than the 92 Dream Team. And listen, we all know, man, the facts remain. The 92 Dream Team is the standard, guys. They're the standard. They're the bar to which all these other Olympic teams are measured to. It's the 92 Dream Team, guys. And there's reasons for that, right? But when we talk about them recreating this image, to me, once again, guys, it exposes LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. Because although those guys are great players in their eras, they're the 3 greatest players of their era. No doubt about it. Hands down, man. When you think about it, you compare them to Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, they're not on that level, guys. They're not. And now, listen, I know there's a lot of, Steph Curry fans out there, and I like Steph Curry, man. But once again, to be Steph Curry is not a top 10 player. He has no argument to be in the top 10 all time, Steph Curry, to me. So right there, that exposes him versus Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan, who to me are all top 10 players. Easily, they're all top 10 all-time players. Whether you have them top 5 or top 3 or the greatest of all time, in Michael Jordan's case, is irrelevant. All 3 of those players are certified top 10 players all time, guys. Easily. No debate. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, top 10 all time. To me, Steph Curry is not a top 10 all time great player. He doesn't have an argument to be top 10. I just don't think he has an argument, guys, once again, to be top 10. Kevin Durant, to me, once again, there's no argument for Kevin Durant to be a top 10 player. No argument for this. And you guys know how I feel about LeBron James, man. Although LeBron James fans and the media, these guys out here, they want you to believe that LeBron James has the resume on paper. Yeah, he might have the paper resume to be argued for a top 5, top 10 spot. But I told you what, LeBron James lacks a lot of the intangibles. And once again, he doesn't have the respect, right, of the fans. They don't respect LeBron James' career, the way he went about his business. LeBron James cheating the game, flopping around, never developing an overall game, no go-to move, still can't dribble the ball, can't shoot free throws, don't play a lick of defense, right? Walking off the court early, no leadership from LeBron James, nothing, man. All these years, he's not top 10. So when you think about those 3 players and they recreate that image and they're trying to make you believe that those 3 players are just as great as Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, I'm here to tell you guys they're not. They're not. And even if we took Larry Bird in 92, Michael Jordan 92, Magic Johnson 92, Give me those guys over these guys today. LeBron James at age 39. Steph Curry at age 36. Was Kevin Durant 37 years old or whatever he is? 38 years old? At these points in their careers? I love how they talk about Larry Bird and how old Larry Bird was. Larry Bird was not old. Larry Bird was beat up. Larry Bird was injury riddled, man. That's what was Larry Bird. Larry Bird still was able to maximize his career, man, because he played with the heart and the grit that a lot of people can't get to, that a lot of people don't play with. Kevin Durant don't play with that level of grit, that level of toughness, that level of hustle of a Larry Bird. Steph Curry, man, and I like Steph Curry, like I said, man, he's battled through some injuries in his career, but these guys don't have the heart, the grit, the toughness of a Larry Bird, man. They just don't have that. When we talk about, like I said, the overall impact of those three players, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, they don't have the impact of those guys. They just don't have the impact. Just when we talk about the impact, they can't touch them. When we talk about Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, you know, I said bringing the NBA up in the 80s, right? Carrying it from the 70s when guys like Dr. J came in from the ABA, right? And really kept the league going. It was Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, right? That brought the game up, made it more popular. And then Michael Jordan took the game global. So when we think about the impact of those three players on the game, just the impact they had on the game, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, they can't match that impact. Kevin Durant, what's his impact been on the game? LeBron James, his impact on the game has been what? A gimmick era. Right, with playing tournaments and in-season tournaments, these guys forming up super teams, right? They call it the player entitlement era. Not the player empowerment, it's player entitlement. These guys are all entitled. And when we think about Steph Curry, what did he give us? He gave us the analytic era, the three-point era, where everyone thinks they're a three-point shooter. Everyone thinks that they're Steph Curry when they're not. So once again, this is taken away from the game. It hasn't pushed the game forward. And that's why you have things like the All-Star game looking the way it looks, right? Because the game has not moved forward. It hasn't gotten better. The All-Star game is now just a bunch of guys shooting a bunch of three-pointers. That's not exciting. That's not basketball. That's not NBA basketball. That's not the basketball I grew up watching. But this is what Steph Curry has given us. And I'm not blaming Steph Curry, only on him. But once again, this is what the NBA has been pushing. The three-point chuckers, guys not playing any defense, right? This is what we got right now in the NBA. That wasn't the case when Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson were in the NBA. What they've done for the game, what they did for the game. Michael Jordan, once again, allowing these guys to make all this money, allowing them to do these videos, these movies, these commercials, all this stuff that they can do off the court, all this money they can do, they can build their brand. That's because of guys like Michael Jordan and what these guys did in the 90s and how these guys carried themselves. They didn't abuse it. They didn't squander it. They made it the way that it is today for these guys. And these guys over the last 10 years, they've blown it up, man. They've destroyed it. Now no one wants to play. They don't want to earn the money. They want max contracts without giving the max effort. They only want to play 60 games. They don't want to play the full 80 games. They don't want to show up for the fans. They don't want to play with that love of the game. They're out there for the money and the fame, a lot of these guys, man. And this was going on. So when I see them recreate this image and they try to make it seem like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan are the same as Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James, it's an absolute joke, guys. Absolute joke. Even if we think about their NBA careers, the way their NBA careers have played out up until this point. Give me Magic Johnson over Steph Curry, easy. Give me Magic Johnson over LeBron James, easy. And give me Magic Johnson over Kevin Durant, easy. Give me Larry Bird over Steph Curry. Give me Larry Bird over Kevin Durant. Give me Larry Bird over LeBron James. These are not even debates for me, guys. Not even a question. And obviously, Michael Jordan over all three of those guys, not even an argument. No debate from any of those players. So when you think about the overall impact, you think about the game, the overall game of those players, they had much greater overall games than Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and LeBron James. LeBron James got no overall game. Kevin Durant, 7 feet tall, but can't rebound, don't play a lick of defense like that. Never been a real leader. And once again, Steph Curry is all offense, man. He's great on offense, man. He's good without the basketball. He's good with the ball in his hands. He can move without the ball. We get all of that stuff, man. But Steph Curry's not a great rebounder. He don't play a lick of defense like that. Not saying he's not trying, but he's never been an impactful defensive player. Never has. He gets abused on defense, like Kyrie Irving abused him in 2016 and in 2017. Right? So Steph Curry's always been a one-sided player. And to me, Steph Curry's never been a leader like that. Where was he at to straighten out Draymond Green all these years, man, and get these guys focused? He never could do these things. He let Draymond Green blow up their season so many times, blow up their playoff run so many times, right? Get suspended in an NBA Finals game. Steph Curry, once again, not showing true leadership out there, man. Not galvanizing these guys. The team was good. They were a great team when you have guys like Klay Thompson, all these other role players they put around Steph Curry, man. But once again, Steph Curry to me is a liability on the defensive end. He's been a liability in other areas on the court, and he's never been that leader like that, right? Steph Curry has, what, 4 championships and 1 Finals MVP, guys. 1. Now, you can argue 2015 all you want, but we all know 2017 and 2018 was all Kevin Durant being a front runner. So those championships don't really hold any weight. So that's a knock on Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. And we all know about LeBron James' super team championships. No one respects him or his career. Not like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. They're all respected. All their championships are respected. They're not tainted. Right? They didn't put the odds in their favor. They went through the grind. They had to battle each other. People knock Michael Jordan now for going through the grind because Kevin Durant didn't go through the grind. LeBron James didn't go through the grind. At least Steph Curry can say that he won without a super team. He won in 2015 and he won in 2022, I believe they won, without a super team. He won without Kevin Durant, before and after him. Kevin Durant can't say that. But those 3 guys are nowhere near the level of Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Let's think about the MVP trophies between these players. If you think about Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan, what do they have? 11 MVP trophies. Michael Jordan has 5, 3 for Larry Bird, 3 for Magic Johnson, right? And then look at all the top 3 and top 5 finishes that these guys have. It's insane. When you look at the MVPs for Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry, what do they have? They have 7 MVPs, 7 to 11. Not even close, guys. Not even close. And once again, Kevin Durant hasn't won an MVP since 2014, guys. Over 10 seasons now, hasn't won MVP, hasn't even sniffed it, hasn't finished up close since that last MVP, his only MVP in 2014. Not impressed, once again, with Kevin Durant's career and all the talent that he's played with. And once again, hopping around, hopping to Golden State, hopping to Brooklyn. Now he's on Phoenix, always bringing this guy, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Steph Curry, all these guys that Kevin Durant has played with, Russell Westbrook, all these great players he's played with. And what do you have to show for that? Nothing until he had to team up with Steph Curry, man. Not impressed with Kevin Durant. His 1 MVP trophy in all these years he's been in the league. Now, Kevin Durant, the most skilled player in NBA history, got 1 MVP trophy, though. And I told you, in the 90s, Kevin Durant ain't winning no MVP trophy in the 90s, guys. He's not. And not in the 80s either. You know the deal on that. And then we look at LeBron James and his 4 MVP trophies, and 2 of them came on a super team. He won 2 trophies on a super team in 2012 and 13. Should never won those MVPs. And then you look at his MVP that he won in 2009 and 2010, back-to-back trophies. How the hell did he win in 2009? He should never won that MVP over Kobe Bryant, not in my opinion. Once again, LeBron James really probably only deserved to have 1 MVP trophy if we're talking real. Look at that. He won 2 of those on super teams, and all of his championships have been on super teams. LeBron James' career is not impressive. He ain't winning the MVPs like that. Once again, LeBron James hasn't won an MVP in his 30s. Now, one of these guys, Steph Curry, won back-to-back MVPs, 15 and 16. Great for him. He was unanimous in 2016 and hasn't sniffed the MVP since. Hasn't finished above number 3 in MVP voting since then, guys. So he was unanimous in 2016, but hasn't finished above 3rd since then. So 2 MVPs, hasn't won 1 in his 30s. Kevin Durant never won MVP in his 30s. LeBron James, who they hype up his longevity, has never won an MVP in his 30s. Larry Bird, I believe, won his last MVP at 29, which was older than Kevin Durant and Steph Curry were when they won their last MVPs. Magic Johnson, I believe, was 30 when he won his last MVP. 30 years old. And we all know that Michael Jordan won several MVPs after his 30th birthday. So once again, this exposes those guys versus Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, the longevity of some of these guys. They want to talk about the skills and all this stuff that they hype up, how much greater these guys are today. Those guys are not winning MVPs in the 80s and the 90s, guys. Steph Curry's not winning MVP in the 80s and 90s. He's a great player, but he's not winning MVPs over Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Moses Malone, Dr. J, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys that was playing, Hakeem Olajuwon, man. He's not winning MVPs over these guys. Like I said, if he got one, he would be lucky to have one. Kevin Durant ain't winning none. None. This just not happening. Once again, Steph Curry would get exposed in the 80s and the 90s because these guys would be able to put their hands on him, the forearms on him, elbow him, beat him up, knock him to the ground, and nothing would happen. Nothing would happen. It's not like these guys would take Steph Curry out and get a penalty or get suspended. No, it would be a regular foul just to slap Curry upside his head. And I'm not saying that would be right, but that's how they would deal with someone like Steph Curry. They would beat him up off the ball. And he wouldn't be able to have all that freedom and room to dribble and do all this nonsense. Once again, don't take away from his greatness. The game is different, man. He would have got put on his butt. And these guys are frail. None of these guys, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, think about that, guys. None of them, all 3 of them, never won an MVP after turning 30. None of them. But they want to talk about how great these guys are. They'll tell you that Steph Curry's a top 10 player. Kevin Durant's a top 10 player. They'll want to pump you up and tell you LeBron James is the greatest of all time or right behind Michael Jordan. It's an absolute joke, guys. None of those guys won any MVPs in their 30s. None of them. And then when we think about some of the all-defensive teams, I mean, my God, you would think that Steph Curry or you would think that Kevin Durant would have a several all-defensive teams. Never made one. We all know Steph Curry never made one. So now you have 6 all-defensive teams, first or second, between all 3 of those guys. You have 6 between Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant on the defensive end. Meanwhile, between Michael Jordan and Larry Bird alone, you have 12 all-defensive teams between Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. No, Magic Johnson never made an all-defensive team, but Magic Johnson led the league in steals more times than LeBron James did, more times than Kevin Durant did. He gave more effort consistently on the defensive end. Magic Johnson was an excellent help defender. He was a great team defender. No, he wasn't going to lock you down man on ball, you know what I'm saying, one-on-one, but he was really excellent in the passing lanes, playing help defense and team defense. Kevin Durant, he ain't that great on ball defense. Where's his help defense at? Where's his great team defense? Only when he's on the Golden State Warriors was he considered to be a solid defensive player. Once again, on a super team front running, that's when Kevin Durant decided to exert some defense and try to play some defense. Still never made an all-defensive team. So all 3 of those players have made 6 all-defensive teams. But Larry Bird, who's a slow and athletic white guy, Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, all 3 of them together have way more all-defensive teams. Way more. Once again, LeBron James, when they talk about his longevity, hasn't made an all-defensive team in his 30s. Not one in his 30s. Not one, guys. We all know what Michael Jordan was doing in his 30s on the defensive end. He was still representing out there. He was still holding it down. Still giving that effort. Now LeBron James ain't give maximum effort consistently on defense since he left Miami, guys. That's a long time ago, which is why the man hasn't even made an all-defensive second team since he left Miami in his 30s. Not one, but they'll talk about LeBron James' longevity. They don't want to talk about Michael Jordan's longevity on both sides of the ball, which is still unmatched to this day. No one's leading the league in scoring and being first-team all-defense every single season while winning championships. It's on another level. LeBron James can't sniff that. Kevin Durant would never sniff that. Steph Curry, no. We're talking about the overall games, rebounding-wise. All these guys are poor rebounders. Steph Curry might be the best rebounder out of all 3 of them guys. LeBron James, 6'9", 260, poor rebounder. Kevin Durant, damn near 7 feet tall, long arms. He's a terrible rebounder. These guys average 7 rebounds a game. That's not good. That's not good. Magic Johnson was a much better rebounder than Steph Curry at that position. Magic Johnson was a greater rebounder than LeBron James and Kevin Durant. In the era that Magic Johnson played in, with great big men, legit big men that banged around down low, that boxed out for rebounds, that got physical, that gave the effort rebound the ball, Magic Johnson was still averaging 7+ rebounds a game. At the point guard position. Not Kevin Durant, not LeBron James, not Steph Curry. Larry Bird's a much greater rebounder than all 3 of those guys. Then Kevin Durant, LeBron James, easily. Larry Bird's a greater rebounder. How is that? How is Larry Bird, who's shorter than Kevin Durant, smaller than LeBron James, don't have the athleticism of those guys, they'll tell you, how is he able to average more rebounds in a much more physical era with big men, with legit big men? How is Larry Bird able to do that? You know how he was able to do that? Because he gave the effort. He had fundamentals. He boxed out. And once again, he was out there hustling, playing with the effort. These guys ain't playing with that hustle, that effort. They can't even offensive rebound, these guys. Michael Jordan, to me, once again, positionally a greater rebounder than all 3 of these guys. You look at Michael Jordan's offensive rebound numbers compared to Kevin Durant, LeBron James. It's an absolute joke, guys. Absolute joke. And then we talk about playmaking. Let's think about playmaking now. Overall playmaking. These 3 players, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Those are probably the 3 greatest playmakers in the history of the game, guys. Probably. Yeah, there are other guys you could put in that conversation. But when you talk about Michael Jordan's ability to score with the ball in his hands, without the ball in his hands, his ability to make cuts, right? All these things, his ability to play in the post, his ability to get out on the break, right? Michael Jordan could make plays on the defensive end, right? When you think about all these things, on Michael Jordan, man, it said to me, he's the greatest playmaker in the history of the game because he does it on both ends at a high level, guys. We all know about Magic Johnson, his playmaking ability, his passing ability, the greatest passer in the history of the game, man. When we talk about Magic Johnson galvanizing the people around him, Magic Johnson makes it easy for you to play the game. That, to me, that's what he did greater than anybody else. It was easy to play the game with Magic Johnson. He made the game easier for his teammates. Michael Jordan maximized his teammates, but to me, Magic Johnson made it easier to play with him. His play style. Anyone can play with Magic Johnson, man, and look good. This is Magic Johnson's playmaking ability. Magic Johnson getting out in the break, send guys up for alley-oops, always putting the ball in the money so guys can be successful, go right into their shots. And then obviously Larry Bird, probably the greatest playmaker or greatest passing small forward in the history of the game. It's not LeBron James, guys. It's not LeBron James. It's a narrative. They want you to believe that LeBron James is the greatest passing small forward or one of the top 3 passers in NBA's history, guys. He's nowhere close to that. He's not on that level. Those are the facts there, man. LeBron James is a very good passer, man, but he's not Larry Bird. He's not. So when you talk about the playmaking aspect of all those 3 players, and once again, Steph Curry is a really good playmaker because he can move without the ball, right? He gets guys open shots because people are focused on him. But when you talk about the playmaking ability, Steph Curry's overall game, he ain't got no post game like that. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about his playmaking ability, the passing is not on the level of some of these other guys that we were just talking about, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. He's just not on the level of these guys, man, the overall playmaking ability of those guys. Steph Curry's not on that level, man. Once again, he's an all-time great player, man. To me, these guys are Steph Curry, a LeBron James. They're maybe top 20, maybe top 20 players. I do not believe they're top 15 or definitely not top 10, in my opinion. So when they recreate this image of Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, the 1, the 2, and the 3, and then you see Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and LeBron James recreate that image. They're supposed to be the best 3 players on this Olympic team. It's not valid, guys. They're nowhere near the level of Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan, guys. They're just not, which is why their careers have played out the way that they have, which is why they haven't won the MVP trophies like the way that these other guys did, right? They didn't win as many championships as these guys have. Magic Johnson won 5 championships, guys. Kevin Durant won 2, playing with Steph Curry. Michael Jordan didn't win championships playing with Larry Bird or with Magic Johnson or with Charles Barkley or with Hakeem Olajuwon or with Patrick Ewing. None of these guys. They were going against each other. Against each other. Larry Bird, 3 championships, going against Magic Johnson, going against Dr. J, Moses Malone, going against Michael Jordan, going against Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman. He was battling against these guys, not joining up with them. And then we all know Michael Jordan 6-0 in the NBA Finals, right? So you're talking about, what is that, 14 championships between those guys, 11 MVPs between those 3 players. Not even close. We talk about Kevin Durant's 2 championships, Steph Curry with 4, and LeBron James with 4. That's 10 championships, guys. It's not close, man. It's just not. You guys know the deal, man. There's nothing that those guys did that was greater than those 3 players. Give me Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan all day, every day, over Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James. Even if you wanted to put them on the court 3-on-3, once again, guys, it's going to be a problem for them dudes. It's going to be a problem. Soft, sensitive, and frail Kevin Durant and flopping LeBron James. And like I said, Steph Curry, what's he doing on the defensive end? He's a little frail too. You guys know these are the facts, man. They continue to try to, build this narrative, paint this portrait of the 92 Dream Team and these guys being a certain age or being beat up or these guys weren't that great. The world, they weren't playing anybody. That's the only reason why they were beating teams by them. All this nonsense. The facts remain. They'll always be the standard. They'll always be the bar. Remember, they'll always be that. Because that's the facts, guys. They were all great players, man. They were all at the peaks of their careers, except for, maybe you could say Larry Bird wasn't at his peak, but he was still excellent. And I'll take those 3 guys easily over Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. And once again, when they talk about these age of those guys, what about the age of these guys? LeBron James, 39 years old, man. They keep trying to tailor LeBron James out there doing a thing. No game. Still turning the ball over. Still driving into people in offensive foul them, getting no calls. Kevin Durant, like I said, is 1 foul away from being out for the whole Olympics. And Steph Curry is 36 in his first Olympics, guys. Kevin Durant's, 37, 38? But they want to talk about Larry Bird and how old he was. Larry Bird was 32 years old? 35 years old? Whatever the hell he was. Come on, man. Stop it right now. I think Magic Johnson was 32. Michael Jordan was 28. I mean, what are we talking about here? Prime Charles Barkley was 28. David Robinson was 24. Scottie Pippen was 26, 25. Chris Mullin, I think, was 28. John Stockton, I believe, was 28. Karl Malone, I think, was 27. So what the hell are we talking about here, man? Clyde Drexler, I believe, was 29, maybe. So I don't know what these guys are talking about, man. Patrick Ewing was 27, 26 years old? It don't add up. And once again, those guys were a lot tougher, man. So you guys know the deal, man. To me, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry are not top 10 players. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan, easy top 10 players, man. They're easy the greater trio. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.